Hello guys, nice to see you today. Today we are going to work on an exercise plan and a project. We work with the students' books for 8th form, prepare, and we are going to work with the page 29, which you can see on the screen. Our lesson's aims are to learn new vocabulary on the topic ways to keep fit, to develop reading skills on the topic of physical activity and health, to create a project and exercise plan with a personal workout plan, and to improve creative and communication skills through project discussion. In this lesson, we are going to have some new words. So, look at your screen and let's repeat after me. We are going to repeat a few times. I will say it and you say it next. So, let's start. Properly. Properly. Lift. Lift. Prevent. Prevent. Stamina. Stamina. Stretch. Stretch. Routine. Routine. Great job. And now we are going to work with a text and have some reading. This text is divided into 5 parts and tells 4 ways to keep fit. And after each part, you will have one question to understand the text better. So now let's start with the first part. 4 ways to keep fit. Scientists say that people should do 1 hour of physical activity every day. It can be sport, exercise, or everyday activities such as walking. In the USA, only 25% of teenagers do enough physical activity. And that's a problem. In addition, teens need 3 types of training to keep fit: weight, aerobic, and flexibility training. They also need to train well for specific sports. Good coaches understand athletes' needs and help them to train properly. Put the video on pause and read this text again if you need to. So, the question to this part is: what are the 3 types of training that teenagers need to stay fit? Put the video on pause, think a few seconds, and tell me the answer. And now you can check your answer. So, they are weight, aerobic, and flexibility training. And now we are going to read the second part of our text, weight training. So, weight training gives you stronger, healthier muscles. If you lift big weights, your muscles get larger. You can also use smaller weights and lift them more times. This trains your body to exercise for a longer time. At the gym, some people use weight machines, but other people prefer free weights. In both cases, they must lift their weights carefully to prevent accidents. So now put the video on pause if you need to and read this text again. The question to this part is: what are 2 ways to use weights for training and how do they affect the body? Think a few moments, put the video on pause and give me the answer. So now let's check the answer to this question. You can lift big weights to make your muscles larger or lift smaller weights more times to improve your training time. And now we are moving to the third part of our text, aerobic training. So, aerobic training is good for you because it makes your heart work harder. You can do light exercise for a longer time, such as cycling slowly for an hour. This gives you stamina so you can exercise longer. You can also cycle hard for 5 minutes and then rest for a minute. Then you cycle for another 5 minutes and rest again. This is interval training and it helps you become faster. So now put this video on pause and read again this part of the text if you need to. And now let's check the question to this part. So the question is, what is interval training and how does it help you? Think about the answer for a few moments, put the video on pause and give me the answer. And now let's check the answer to this question. So the answer is, interval training is cycling hard for 5 minutes and then resting before repeating. It helps you become faster. And now, before we move to the next part of our text, let's have a short relax for our eyes. Your task is to repeat movements according to this video. So, let's return to our text. And now we are going to read about flexibility training. So, flexibility training is also important for fitness. For example, athletes need to warm up and stretch their muscles before they exercise. Martial arts, such as Tai Chi, are great for flexibility training. People also need balance for these activities, so they don't fall down. In flexibility training, it's best to go slowly and be careful. You don't want to hurt yourself. And now, put the video on pause and read it again if you need to. And the question to this part is, why do we need to warm up our muscles? Put the video on pause, think a few moments and tell me the answer. So, let's check the answer. Because it helps our muscles to be more flexible. And now let's move to our fifth part of the text, which is sport-specific training. So, sport-specific training is a special exercise routine that helps athletes play one sport better. For example, professional football players run a lot and do extra weight training for their legs. In contrast, tennis players do more exercises for their arms. They also stop and start a lot during matches. So, interval training is helpful for them, which is then you quickly change between doing high intensity exercise and low intensity exercise. Now put the video on pause and read this text again if you need to. And the question to this part is: why do tennis players benefit from their interval training? And now let's check the answer to this question. Because they often stop and start during matches, and interval training helps with that. And now we are moving to our project work. In this project work, we are going to think about an exercise plan. So what is our task? Our task is to make a plan for doing exercise in our free time. We have some questions which will help us to do that. So now let's read the questions. What sports can you do after school? What other exercise can you do on school days? What activities do you usually do at the weekend? What sports or exercise can you do with friends? What other activities can help you to keep fit? So now prepare a sheet of paper, some pencils, and try to be creative. Your task is to answer these questions and try to make your 1 week workout plan. So put this video on pause and do your job. Try to answer to each of these questions, and after you finish your project, you will check how did I do that. So now let's check on my personal workout plan, which I have prepared for you. The first point of it is going to the gym 2 times a week after school. Number 2, walking the dog on school days. Number 3, playing tennis or going swimming on Saturday. Number 4, playing beach volleyball in summer and ice skating in winter. And number 5, running on a stadium, which is how my personal workout plan looks like. So our lesson is going to be over soon, and now let's have a conclusion. What we have done today? We learned new vocabulary on the topic ways to keep fit. We developed reading skills on the topic of physical activity and health. We created a project and exercise plan with a personal workout plan. We improved creative and communication skills through project discussion today. So we have done all our aims of the lesson. Now let's repeat the new vocabulary which we have learned today. So please repeat after me again. Properly. Правильно, належним чином. Lift. Піднімати. Prevent. Запобігати. Stamina. витривалість, stretch – розтягуватись, розтяжка, routine – рутина, розпорядок. And now we are going to have a small reflective thinking. Now look at this photo. We have some questions to discuss. So, today, what are you working on? Put the video on pause after each question and try to answer them. So, the second question, how are you doing it? The next question, what was easy? And the next one, what was hard for you? The next question, what did I learn? And the last one, how will you use it in the future? So, for today the lesson is over. It was great to work with you today. Your home task will be to finish your project if you haven't finished it yet. Try to be creative. Repeat some new words which we have learned today. And I hope to see you in next lessons. See you soon. Thank you for the lesson and goodbye.